Fans, we want to hear from you. You're encouraged to email KLU at info@kleagueunited.com or tweet @KLeagueUnited with any questions, comments or reactions. Or follow us on Facebook to ask directly during one of our live shows.
It is a pleasure to welcome to the podcast the most capped women's Korean international, West Ham United midfielder Cho So-hyun. So-hyun, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. How would you assess the season so far and what are the team's aims?
It's been far from a satisfactory season so far. We only managed to draw once with 4 losses in the first 5 league games this season.
You were injured recently, weren't you? What was the problem and is everything okay now?
네, 지금 맨유 경기하기 전에 이제 2경기 정도 결장했거든요.
Yes, I was rested for 2 games ahead of the Manchester United game because I picked up a hamstring injury and so I haven't played that many games yet. I'm almost recovered and I'm hoping to return to start in the next game.
있을 때는 선발로 뛰지 않을까 그렇게 생각하고 있어요.
Do you set yourself any personal targets with goals or assists?
아무래도 좀 도움이랑 득점을 하면 좋은데 포지션이 좀 약간 수비형 쪽.
Scoring goals would be amazing, but it is a bit difficult as I'm usually in a defensive role in the team. Instead, I hope I can help the team by providing 3 or 4 assists. As a team, we hope to stay higher in the table than where we were last season. We're preparing well to turn things around after the international break.
인터내셔널 캠프 끝나면 이제 그 다음에 반전을 노리고 있어요.
I want to ask you about squad numbers. You recently changed yours from 20 to 14 at West Ham. How important are they to a player?
제가 처음에 축구를 시작했을 때 받았던 번호가 14번이었어요. 그래서
14 is the number I was given when I first started to play football, and I used to wear it until I moved abroad. It reminds me of the mindset I had at a very early stage in my career, and I have lots of fond memories of winning trophies, so the number has a special meaning to me.
우승도 되게 많이 했었던 번호도 같이. 그래서 저한테는 조금 많이 큰 의미가 있는 번호예요.
How is life in England?
한국 생활하는 것보다는 영국 생활이 조금 더 맞는 것 같아요.
I think English life fits me better than Korean life. Here, I live by myself and I have plenty of time to myself away from football. In Korea, we're usually required to live together in a clubhouse, which I find frustrating.
제가 생각했을 땐 조금 한국 같은 경우에
I think Korean football has a bit of a slow tempo and less intensity in training compared to English football. In Korea, they tend to increase the intensity gradually. However, in England, there's always a competitive atmosphere created among the squad in training every day. The training is much more intense. We always wrap up our sessions with a small game that constantly encourages competition and it increases our match sharpness. In a game, Korean football tends to play possession-based football with passing play. But English football is more aggressive going forward. When there's space for one-on-one situations, more physicality is needed. So quick situation awareness and decision-making, physicality, and strong pressure are required on the pitch.
강도가 좀 다른 것 같아요. 빨리 체크해야 되고, 빨리 판단해야 되고, 빨리 우리 팀 선수를 봐야 되고, 그런 게 조금 여유가 조금 더 없다고 생각해요.
There are a number of Korean internationals over there now. Ji So-hyun, Jong Ga-ul, Lee Gun-min. Before COVID-19 came, did you see them quite often?
영국이 이제 집으로 사람들을 초대를 못 하고 있잖아요.
At the moment, due to the restrictions in place in England, we're not allowed to invite others over. Before then, I would have dinner with Chelsea player Ji So-hyun at our place. We usually try to see each other, but we can't see these days.
좀 많이 힘든 것 같아요.
As someone who has captained the national team, what do you think needs to happen for things to improve?
좋은 선수들이 좀 해외에 나가서 다른
I think more Korean players should go abroad and compete with other international players week in, week out to develop. I reckon Korean women players are skillful but lack international experience, physicality, and situation awareness and decision-making, mainly because of lack of international football at senior level. Of course, it would be difficult to adapt, but it'll ultimately help them develop.
생각해요.
Finally, do you see yourself returning to WK League one day?
이 부분이 좀 많이 고민이 되긴 하는데 저는 남자친구가 있는데
It's something I'm still thinking about. In fact, my boyfriend often says to me, one day you'll come back and play in WK League. But actually, that's not what I'm thinking. People around me also occasionally ask me, will you come back to Korea? But I say no. If I had to move, my destination would be Japan rather than Korea.
돌아간다고 생각하면 일본 정도 생각하고 있어요.
Okay, I see. Well, all the best. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll catch up with you later in the season.
들어가세요. 감사합니다.
Thank you. Bye.
정조선 고공 폭격기 김신우